multi-pass TIG weld on a big chunk of stainless steel. I pulled this out of the scrap bin. It was cut off of a big roller that we shortened, and it's a big chunk of like 3-inch thick stainless turned down to about 2-inch, and it's just begging to put a multi-pass weld on there. It's just like a big heavy wall socket weld. So I'm going to show a little walk in the cup technique today on this thing first, and then we'll do some freehanding as well later on in the final pass. The walk in the cup, the first pass is actually more like wiggling the cup like this, just wiggling it. And it leaves scratch marks like this, so it's not actually tolerated in every industry. Like if you're doing fine, tedious work for the semiconductor industry or fine, smooth machine surfaces, it's just not tolerated, so you have to learn how to freehand. But pipe fitters and construction workers that weld pipe and whatnot walk the cup like this routinely on socket welds. So that's what we're doing here. The first pass, again, we're just wiggling the cup back and forth. The reason it works so well is it maintains your torch angle. And each time you wiggle the torch back and forth, it tends to move at about the same increment, so it gives you a nice even pattern on your weave ripples and stuff. It's a good technique if nothing's in the way, and that's the key, if nothing is in your way, because you're doing a lot of movement and you're kind of, you see I'm speeding it up here. See, if there was stuff in the way, it would kind of hinder me a little bit, but I'm out here in the wide open, and it's an excellent technique to use in the wide open. Now we'll put the second pass on there, and the second pass is not just wiggling the cup. You're more like, it's like you were walking a 55-gallon drum across the floor back and forth. So you roll it one way, and then you kind of have to tilt it the other way and then roll it back the other way. So if you've ever done that, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you've never done it, just get a glass and sit at your kitchen table and you can roll it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Either way, it tends to put nice even ripples, because again, it keeps your electrode angle the same, it keeps your arc pretty tight, and each time you move it, your tendency is to move it at about the same increment each time, and so your travel speed's even, and it makes your ripples even. It's a good technique. It's just not always possible to do it. Alright, there's a total of 3 passes, a root pass and then 2 passes on top of that. Now there are times when that wouldn't be enough, so we're going to go ahead and put 3 more beads on this. Now I'm using a rigid 17 air-cooled torch here. Not my favorite style torch, but sometimes you got to live with what you got. You can see I got to position my hand here to get the right angle, or if I'm coming in from this angle, I've got to, it's not a flex head, so I can't just get any angle I want, in other words. But you make do. This is another way of propping to make it around a joint like this. Okay, before we do the